You check the time. It's 11:47 at night. The last patient left an hour ago. A golden retriever with a torn ligament. Easy fix, routine. You locked the front door, turned off the overhead lights, and started counting. The day's receipts. The numbers aren't good, they never are anymore. You became a surgeon for people once. That was the plan. 6 years of pre-med, 4 years of medical school, a residency that nearly killed you. Not from the work, but from the debt. You were 3 months from finishing when the program cut funding. Budget shortfalls. Administrative decisions made by people who had never held a scalpel. You were out, no degree, no license, no future in medicine. So you pivoted. You went back to school, you became a veterinarian. It wasn't the same, but it was close enough to keep your hands busy. And for a while, that was enough. The clinic has been bleeding money for 2 years now. Rent went up, supply costs went up. The number of patients didn't. You've been covering the gap with credit, cards, and optimism, and both are running dangerously low. Your daughter starts college in 8 months. You have $11,000 saved. Tuition is $43,000 a year. You're standing at the sink rinsing your hands when someone knocks on the back door. Not the front, the back. You dry your hands slowly. You walk to the door and look through the peephole. There's a man standing in the alley and he's holding another man upright. The second man is barely standing. His shirt is soaked through with something dark. In the yellow glow of the alley light, it looks black. You know it isn't. You open the door 2 inches. You tell them the clinic is closed. You tell them the hospital is 6 blocks east. The first man looks at you. He doesn't beg. He doesn't explain. He reaches into his coat and pulls out a folded envelope and holds it out to you. He says one sentence. He says your name first. Then he says, $20,000 cash right now if you fix him tonight. You stand there for a moment that feels much longer than it is. Then you open the door. You work for 3 hours. The wound is a knife wound, deep, close to the liver, but not through it. You use what you have. Surgical tools meant for large animals, anesthesia calibrated for a 200-pound dog, antibiotics designed for livestock. You do the math in your head with every decision. You work carefully, your hands don't shake. You've always had steady hands. That was always the thing people said about you, even back in medical school, even in the worst moments of your residency. Steady hands. When it's over, the man on your table is breathing. The color is returning to his face. The first man, the one who knocked, watches you clean up. He hands you the envelope. He tells you to forget this happened. He walks. The injured man out the back door and into a car that was idling in the alley, and then they're gone. You stand in your empty clinic at 3 in the morning, holding $20,000. You pay 3 months of back rent. You put $5,000 into your daughter's college fund. You buy new equipment for the clinic and tell yourself it's for the animals. You sleep fine that first night. Better than fine, actually. The weight you've been carrying for 2 years is suddenly lighter, and you don't ask yourself too many questions about why. 3 weeks later, the same man calls. Not from a number you recognize, from a number you've never seen. But you recognize the voice immediately. He tells you he has someone who needs help. He says the pay is the same. He says he's been asking around and people speak highly of you. He says you're good at keeping quiet. He asks if you're available tonight. You think about hanging up. You hold the phone away from your ear and stare at the wall, and you think very seriously about putting it down. You think about your daughter. You think about the 8 months between now and her first day of college. You think about the $11,000 still in the account and the $43,000 you still need. You tell him yes. The second patient is a man with a bullet in his shoulder. Not life-threatening, but infected. And he can't go to a hospital without answering questions. He doesn't want to answer. You remove the bullet with a tool designed for extracting foreign objects from the digestive tracts of German shepherds. It works perfectly. The man barely makes a sound. He pays in cash. He leaves through the back door. He doesn't thank you. You don't expect him to. A pattern develops. Not quickly and not loudly. Word moves through channels you can't see, through networks you don't have names for. 2 patients a week become 3. 3 become 5. You start keeping the back door unlocked on specific nights. You stop asking, what happened to the people who come to you? You focus only on the wound in front of you, the damage and how to repair it. You get very good at separating those 2 things, the person and the problem, the history and the injury. You hire a woman named Claire to assist you. She asks no questions. She's fast, clean, precise. You never find out her background, but the way she moves in, the room tells you she's done this before. She hands you what you need, before you ask. She manages the anesthesia without being told. On the nights when a patient is critical, when the margin between alive and not. Alive is very thin. It's her steadiness that keeps the room calm. You don't think of yourself as a criminal. That's what you tell yourself. During the long drives home at 3 and 4 in the morning, you think of yourself as a resource, a practical solution to a real problem. Most of the people who come to you are not what you imagined when you first opened that back door. Yes, some of them carry the weight of dangerous lives. You can see it in the way they sit, in the flatness behind their eyes, in the specific quality of their silence. But most of them are just people who got hurt and can't go through official channels, a man who got stabbed, breaking up a fight outside a bar, a woman who was hurt in a situation she can't explain to police without making it worse, a kid, barely 20, who took a bad fall off a roof doing work he wasn't supposed to be doing. The money keeps coming. You open a second account. You stop using credit cards. You pay off the clinic. Lease 2 years in advance. You put $30,000 into your daughter's fund. You start sleeping 7 hours. A night instead of 5. You start to believe you have control of this. That's the mistake. The call comes on a Tuesday night, late, not from the regular contact, from a number you've never seen. And the voice on the other end is calm in a specific way that tells you this isn't a request. They send a car. The driver doesn't speak. You ride for 40 minutes into a part of the city you don't know. You're brought into a building that looks like a private hospital, better equipment than any clinic you've ever worked in, cleaner than most legitimate operating rooms you've seen. There is a man on the table. You know who he is. You've seen his face in the news, not for crimes. Officially, he's a businessman, real estate, import, philanthropy. His name is attached to buildings and foundations and charitable events, but you know what he is underneath that. Everyone in this city knows, in the quiet way that people know things they never say, out loud. He controls the ports, he controls the movement of money and goods through the shadows of this city. He has agreements with people in offices and people on corners, and everyone in between. He is the architecture beneath the visible world, and he is dying on a table in front of you. The man in the suit beside you tells you what he needs. He's matter-of-fact about it. He mentions very calmly that they know where your daughter goes to school. He mentions her name. He mentions the name of her roommate. He isn't threatening you. He's simply providing information. He wants you to understand the full picture. You understand it completely. You scrub in. Claire is already there, standing at the instrument table. Her face is completely neutral. You don't know how. They found her, and you don't ask. You begin. The surgery takes 4 hours. It is the most complex thing you have ever done. More complex than anything you did in your incomplete residency. More complex than anything you've done in the back of your clinic. Twice you think you're losing him. Twice you pull him back. Your hands, as always, are steady. That one thing has never left you. When it's over, the man breathes on his own. His vitals stabilize. You step back and pull off your gloves and stand in the silence of the room. The suited man thanks you. He says it the way someone thanks a vending machine. He tells you a car will take you home. He tells you the money has already been transferred. He tells you they'll be in touch. You ride home in the back of a black car at 6 in the morning and watch the city. Wake up through the window, people going to work, a woman walking a dog, a kid waiting for the school bus. With headphones on, all of it ordinary. All of it happening in a world that doesn't know what just occurred. 4 miles from here in a building with no sign on the door. You walk into your clinic at 7 a.m. You have a full day of appointments. A cat with a respiratory infection, a dog with a broken leg, a rabbit. You put on your white coat. You unlock the front door. You turn the sign to open. You are a veterinarian. That's what it says on the door. That's what it says on your license. That's what you tell yourself as you stand at the sink and wash your hands, slowly, carefully, the way you always do, watching the water run pink for just a moment before it clears. You have steady hands. You have always had steady hands. You just wish you still knew exactly what they were for.
You've seen how this system works, but this is only one structure. Next, we're going deeper into a system where the pressure is even higher and the fall is faster. Subscribe now so you don't miss it. Leave a like if you want more high-level breakdowns like this. And activate notifications, because once you're inside, you won't